welcome back. I'm Aparna and today I am standing in front of Woodbridge Memorial Library where I came to pick up my Crafts to Go kit. My Crafts to Go kit. Here it is. As a mother, I always aspire and try to make sure that my kids are engaged in good learning activities. That's why every week I look forward for the Crafts to Go kit. This week, I would take you to and introduce to Paul, who is the brain behind the Crafts to Go kits that we get every week. So come, let's meet Paul and see what goes behind the planning and making of these kits. So we are in the Woodbridge Library with Paul. I know Paul more as Crafts to Go Paul, who is so popular in making different types of crafts, but I would like Paul to introduce himself in his own words to our viewers.
So, hello everyone, I'm Mr. Paul. I'm the children's librarian here at Woodbridge. I've been here for around 3 years and I became the children's librarian about a year ago. So as you know, I do the Crafts to Go program and I also do our story times and get all the books for our families.
Thank you, Paul, for such a nice introduction. And we all know that he is doing a great job with the Crafts to Go program, which is a big hit in our community, in particular with the kids of age 5 or under. So I would really like Paul to please explain a little bit more about Crafts to Go program.
Sure. So I started the program back in September because we used to have crafts in person in the library about once a month. Then as we all know, COVID hit, so I wanted to keep something going for the families, a nice take-home activity that's, off the screen a little bit, something a little more hands-on. And so that's how Crafts to Go came about. And as you said, it's been a pretty good success. We do it every single week, and we're happy to have anyone come by any Tuesday and pick up some crafts.
So Paul, there is another interesting question that I would like to ask you. Even our viewers have seen in my previous videos my kids making cotton snowflake, contact paper igloo, and many more interesting stuff. But I'm curious to know, where do you get the inspiration and these creative ideas from?
So my biggest inspiration is definitely a mix of the seasons and the weather. So as you said, in the past we did snowflakes and igloos, snowmen, that kind of a thing. So we did that in the winter. So now we're doing more kind of spring-based things. Like this week we had toadstools, last week we had an opossum, little spring critters, So I just like to change it with the seasons.
Well, it's really interesting to know that you go by the seasons and come up with some really interesting ideas, but I would like to ask, do you really face any particular constraints when you have an idea and you want to, put into work so that it's kid-friendly or anything, any specific constraints that you face?
Well, one constraint I face is keeping the complexity just right, because I don't want them to be too complex, and then also not too simple. And also want them to take a good amount of time, at least 10-15 minutes each. So that's always something I keep in mind. And then also, most of these crafts are actually meant to be done kind of in a group, in person. Like you would just make piles of the different materials and everyone would gather around and grab little bits of each. So you have to adapt them for take-home kits.
So Paul, what you said is perfectly correct. Making the exact complexity which will be appealing for kids 2 to 5 is really difficult. But trust me, you are doing a great job, because my kid, who is like 2.5, he enjoys these crafts a lot, and I also know my friends and other kids who are aged 4 to 5 and they are equally enjoying sitting and spending time with these crafts. So moving ahead, I would like to know, what are your future plans? How do you plan to take forward the Crafts to Go program?
First off, I want to thank you. I'm so glad your kids enjoy the crafts. And so going ahead, what I'd like to do is kind of keep introducing new materials and elements to it. So moving on from just, say, construction paper and glue, every once in a while I'll add, say, a paint kit. For Halloween last year, we did pumpkin painting. So on occasion, I'm going to introduce new materials and new styles of crafts.
Paul, I really like the idea of yours to introduce new materials. And to our audience, you've seen me doing a lot of crafts in my earlier videos, and I also explained how they help your kids' brain development, especially in the growing ages like 2 to 5. Interacting with different types of colors, different textures, different shapes, it really helps them have a very good brain development and logical thinking. Alignment, symmetry, all these things are what kids would learn. Having said that, I would like to know, Paul, what are we doing this week? Would you like to give a sneak peek?
Sure. So, with the flowers coming into bloom and the trees turning green, we're going to be making some nice spring trees. But instead of just green paper, for the leaves, we're going to be using color feathers. So you can feel and play with them a little bit. That'll be next week's craft.
I'm sure you're excited to see what's going to be next week's craft. So also, I have a quick question, Paul. Approximately how many people have registered for your program as of now?
So right now, we have about 30 families, and a lot of them get multiple kits. So I put out about 45 to 50 kits a week.
That's a good number. So, having spoken about the importance of crafts and how well Paul comes up with creative ideas every week, and having seen a sneak peek of this week's project, I'm sure you're also thinking to register for the Crafts to Go program from the Woodbridge Library. Do give it a try. Having said that, I would really like to thank Paul for all the interesting and creative crafts that you've been doing, and thank you so much for taking time out and talking to us.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm so glad your family enjoys the crafts, and I'm happy to come by and share some information about them. Also, I wanted to mention that you don't actually have to live in Woodbridge to join our program. We welcome anyone from the surrounding area. So if you want to sign up, you can reach out to the library with the contact information in the description.
And what I would like to add is, if you're not living close by Woodbridge or New Jersey, you can always watch the videos. You can always follow a Woodbridge Library Facebook page and get tons of creative ideas and spend some really memorable time with your little ones. I hope you all enjoyed watching the video. And parents with kids, I would highly recommend, please register yourself and give it a try. It's really interesting. And once again, I would like to thank Paul for taking time out for us, and also Erin, the director of Woodbridge Memorial Library, for allowing us to do this small video and share with you all. So we'll be back with another interesting video. Till then, take care and keep smiling. See you.